all, welcome to week 4 of the Roman series. Obviously I'm doing chapter 4 this week, but before I start, let me encourage you. Reading the Bible is one of the best things you can do to strengthen your faith. It's going to just give you such a depth of knowledge of God, and you'll just move from strength to strength in Him and just live a whole life full of faith in God. So, thanks Kim. Week 4. Chapter 4, I want to break it up into 2 sections, verses 1 to 12 and then chapters 13 to 25. The background of the chapter is where there are some serious divisions in the church within Rome, and to the point where the Jews are being exiled and that the Gentiles are actually the ones kicking up a stink and everything like that. So Paul, to bring a bit of balance and a bit of correction to this situation, he begins his argument by telling the story of Abraham, and he says that Abraham was justified by faith long before the institution of the covenant, and the sign of the covenant was before his circumcision. So it was his act of faith in God that actually made him right before God. So he's actually speaking to the Jews there. And the second part of chapter 4 is where is actually verse 13 to 25 is where Paul continues his argument and says that Abraham's promises were granted through his faith and not by the law, that he actually didn't deserve the promises, he didn't work for them, it was just actually that God gave them to him, and it was his faithfulness in him that actually gave them to Abraham. Paul concludes this part of the chapter by saying, highlighting an even more specific story of Abraham, where he was nearly 100 years old and his wife had been barren, and he was crying out to God, and God said, I haven't forgotten this promise, but that you will have a child. And Abraham didn't scoff at being 100 years old and a barren wife. He just loved God and just took him at his word and just continued on in that. Now, verses 23 and 25 are right at the end of the chapter, and these 3 verses I absolutely love, and I'll just read them. Now it was not written for his sake alone that it was imputed to him, but also for us. It shall be imputed to us who believe in him who raised up Jesus our Lord from the dead, who was delivered up because of our offences and was raised because of our justification. The thing that I get out of this the most is just how wonderful that God is. He is completely faithful to us, and that if we live a life of faithfulness toward him, that is what makes us right before him, and that through that God will just bless us and deliver us. And that's it. Ta-da!